Hi, this is Bezel Bay, and today you'll be enjoying Wtdta Radio, where we'll be exploring the world of accounting, current expected credit loss provisions, estate planning, and tax planning, just to name a few. Don't forget, in the evening session, we'll be definitely going into civics and syntactical trust. So remember, if you listen long enough, you will definitely learn something. Peace and love, family. Peace and love.
Are we not?
No, Nancy. She is one of us. A survivor.
You old as dirt, Bird Big. Why the fuck you didn't ride the carousel?
I choose peace.
Egyptians told tales of the sacred Book of Thoth, which contains the secrets of the gods and brings misery, pain, and suffering to anyone who reads it.
And grants a bird's eye view to he who writes it. I am old as dirt, and I've seen things as you have. Why do you bring this rage to my doorstep?
You ever notice how traveling makes your mind roll thunder? Like a train moving down the track. Except you don't know where the fuck that mine train is headed. And then all of a sudden, plop, an idea shits in your head. And you think that shit smells good. Peace is a beautiful but shitty idea. Only a goddess can adorn the sarcophagus of a god. So help me understand what these new gods give it and what they take it away.
Your thirst does not inspire our confidence, only our curiosity.
I am not a god. In the sense that I can tolerate exploitation, oppression, and repression, my worshippers know freedom ain't free. They know the most potent weapon of control for the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. They know slavery is not a condition. Slavery is a cult. Human trafficking is a cult. Slavery got a rebrand like motherfucking the alt-right. And snatched. Another one gone. Every 30 seconds, another chocolate brown, caramel yellow, high yellow, red bone refugee girl with melanin in her skin gets snatched. Every 30 seconds. And to make matters worse, these dazzling new plantation owners built a pipeline to take our children from school to prison quicker than a cut can bleed. And the lucky ones go from school to the NFL, where they don't even let them niggas take a knee. They've been programmed from birth with shitty food options, contaminated drinking water, gun violence, police brutality, and trauma after trauma after trauma. PTSD, no therapy. Missing, no Amber Alert. Alone. Vulnerable. Snatched. Another one gone.
I hear you, brother. And I hear them. I hear each voice. And I write each name.
We have lived long enough to know these troubles are timeless. Suffering is not sacred.
And moral law is final. Sooner or later, they all lay before me. War need not be the answer.
My queen, the world assumes white people are naturally good. So when something bad happens, it's a good person doing a bad thing. They assume black people are naturally bad. So when something good happens, it's only a matter of time before that animal's true nature rears its ugly head. How much longer can we afford to wait? You keep track of days, numbering the years for scribes that record human history. Do you see progress? I count 1, 2, 3 African gods in this room. And 2 of them want to exercise restraint and let the donkey work continue while you live your best life. War is upon us. An old white lady is dead. Wednesday avenges Zoraya Virtunia, but if it was a dead black lady, like this sweet old soul, Churning Boggs' hammer would not swing.
Your words move me, Anansi. You see me. You and I both see the goddess, the queen. These men today look right through me. This country has done things to us.
We have done things to us.
So what do you propose?
I propose we have a drink.
A king needs a queen.
The death of Argus left an opening.
When I was growing up, I wanted to know. I was into everything. I was researching and studying everything I could get my hands on, and I wanted to know. I wanted knowledge. And so I really appreciated, more than anyone will know, I really appreciated speakers, teachers, authors, writers, people who were the leading authorities in that day, that I could go to and listen, go to seminars and sit and listen to them and learn from them and write down their sources of their information and go back and get the books and read. So I was traveling all over California and all the museums and all the federal and state depositories, all kinds of research libraries. I lived out at UCLA and USC stacks. They would call them the stacks at USC, underground libraries, for years and years and years, cross-referencing everything, reading everything I could on the occult, on the strange things that are going on in the world. And like I said, I've been doing what I do for 53 years. I started back in 1959 with talking at little mom-and-pop grocery stores and bookstores, and I was just fascinated with the world of the occult, with all the things that are not seen. I learned, I wanted to know, and that's the big thing. The emphasis is on the word want. I wanted to know. So I decided to dedicate my life to studying the occult. The word occult simply is a Latin word which means hidden. Doesn't mean it's evil or bad or of the devil. It just means hidden. I've done over 600 radio interviews. I've worked with CBS on the Ancient Mystery series. I've spoke all around the world, all over the earth, traveled extensively, speaking about the world of the occult. And I'm fascinated with how much people don't know. And most people do not see the profound significance of symbols on our money, on our coats of arms, on halotry, on the corporate logos, on flags, national flags. All of these symbols mean something to highly intelligent people. Again, like I said, it's not important to the normal person out in the street. But going back to the dollar bill, you will see on the when you're holding the back of the dollar bill to you, it's on the right-hand side, is the eagle, and the eagle has 32 feathers on one wing and 33 on the other. 32 and 33. A lot of very interesting is he has 9 tail feathers. And in the world of the occult, there's an idea expressed that there were 9 men who are called the Council of 9, because religion and God is always equated with 3. There's always a triune God everywhere. All over the world you have triune deities, 3. And so the idea being 3 times 3 is 9. It's the opposing of the gods. All the gods are represented by 3. That's why you have Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, 3 major religions. They're called the people of the book. Why do you have 3? You have 3 because you have Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Osiris, Isis, Horus, Solomon. There was no King Solomon. There was no King Solomon ever existed. There was no King David or King Solomon or any of those other biblical characters. That's why the Bible is called the greatest story ever told. It's a story. Solomon, there was no Solomon. And so therefore today there is no Solomon's temple. There is a temple of Sol, Om, On. S-O-L in Latin is the sun, Sol. Om, O-M, are the priests of the Hindu priests who are called the priest of Om. Remember the chant of the Om? And then you have the word On, O-N. Well, the Greeks went into Egypt, and the center for sun worship in Egypt back then was a city called Heliopolis. Helios, and this is all Greek. The Egyptians didn't call the city Heliopolis. The Greeks call it Heliopolis because Helios is Greek and Opolis is a city.
Right.
So it's Helios is the city of the sun. I should say that Helios is Greek for the sun, and Opolis is a city. So therefore, Heliopolis is the city of the sun. But the city that the Greeks call Heliopolis, the Egyptians called it On, O-N, because it was a city of light, the city of the sun. This is why when you walk into a room, you flip a light switch on, because in Egypt, city of light was called On. So therefore, it was a city of the sun. Well, Sol, Om, On are all 3 names of the sun. And therefore, the Temple of Solomon, Temple of Solomon, is the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the Temple of Solomon, because the pyramid is the temple of the sun. The Aztecs and the Mayans had temples to the sun and temples to the moon. But the ones in Egypt the Great Pyramid was called the Temple of the Sun, because it was all dedicated to astrology based on the sun. So that's why it's in Heliopolis that became, and the city was called On by the Egyptians. But when you go back to the American dollar bill, you will see above the eagle's head, there are 13 stars. Look at those 13 stars, and you tell me, what configuration do the 13 stars collectively make up? There are 13 stars above the eagle's head on the back of the dollar bill. Look at them, study it, think about what you're looking at, and put all 13 stars together in one picture. What does it make up? And they all put them all together into one star, and becomes the hexagram, H-E-X, hex is 6. Well, the Star of David is a 6-pointed star. That's why it's called a hex. Mm-hmm. Why? It's because the ancient prehistoric world, the ancient Babylonians, Sumerians, they would draw a circle on the ground and then draw a triangle within the circle, and then an opposing triangle, which is a Star of David, we would call it, inside of a circle, and stand inside of that circle, that star, and cast a spell on you. And so today we have Jews all over the world who are proud to show you they have the hex put on them, because a hex is a 6-pointed star. And so they call it the Star of David. No, first of all, we know it's not the Star of David, because the star itself, the 6-pointed star, originally came from the Hindus in India. This is an Indian Hindu symbol of the 6-pointed star. It can be traced back to, in the ancient world, as a symbol for the planet Saturn. Saturn was always the astronomical, not astrological, astronomical, one of the symbols in the astronomical for the planet Saturn was a 6-pointed star, a hexagram. which I think is interesting because on the planet of Saturn today, on the North Pole, there is a hexagram. And this gets into religion and theology, which is the one subject that I'm fascinated with. If you think about it, all your life, the situation in the heavens has always been the same. It's the same story year in and year out. The sun is in summer, and then it goes into fall, then it goes into winter, then it goes into the spring, comes back to summer, and then it starts all over again, spring, summer, autumn, winter, and it never stops. That's the way it is. So the sun, the ancient people said that the sun was dead in winter. Everyone in the northern hemisphere felt that the sun was dead in winter. It is dead in winter for you. It's freezing up here. But if you have the money, or if you're a bird, you can fly down to Rio. That's when summer is in the southern hemisphere. You go south for the summer. That's why you see the birds. All the birds going south in the fall. Why? Because they're getting out of here because it's winter. It's going to get cold here. So you fruitcakes stay here and work on your job. We're going down to Rio, down to the beach. And so the birds are flying south for the summer because that's where the sun's going to be. So that's the first day of winter in the northern hemisphere. December 21st is the first day of summer in the southern hemisphere. And so it's just the opposite there. So when they're having summer, we're having winter. Well, so in the northern hemisphere, we said that the sun dies for us. It's dead. It's of no value to us. We're freezing to death up here. Yeah. That's a whole story we can get into later. It's called astrotheology. First of all, on the right-hand side, going back to the dollar bill, you will see the eagle. And the eagle represents, and the eagle has always represented in all societies, always the eagle is the most important symbol in all societies. And it always means the same thing. As far back as we can go to the Sumerians, the Babylonians, the Phoenician Canaanites, the Greeks, the Romans, America. America has the bald eagle. That's our symbol. No, it's not your symbol. It's been the oldest symbol that's ever been used by any civilization on the face of the earth, period. All ancient civilizations use the eagle. It represents the sun. And there was an ancient priesthood coming out of Phoenicia, Cana, thousands and thousands of years ago, a very ancient priesthood, were the priest of the sun. And it goes back to, even in Egypt, there was a priesthood of the sun. And they were stationed in, and they lived in an area we call On, or Heliopolis. So the eagle represents the sun. But what's interesting about the eagle is you'll notice it only has two wings, left wing and right wing. Mm-hmm. That's why you can only have two political parties under this system in America. You can only have a left wing and a right wing, because the eagle only has two wings, left wing and right wing. But the both wings are operated by the same brain. Mm-hmm. So there's a third party here. There's the brain that operates the left wing and right wing, which is telling you that our political system is run by money. You find banks are on both sides of a river. They're called river banks. Well, what does a river bank do? It directs the flow of the currency. It's the cash flow, the liquid asset. Therefore, that's what a bank does. It directs the flow of the current.
Back to the writing is on the wall.
That's
right
it.
Between the lines. Absolutely.
I mean, so on the left-hand side of the back of the dollar bill, you will see a pyramid. Now, how many Americans have looked at the back of a dollar bill? Most people don't even know what's on the back of a dollar bill. But on the back of the dollar bill is an Egyptian pyramid. And at the top of the pyramid was an all-seeing eye. It's become very famous now. Hundreds and hundreds of websites and speakers out there all over the world now talking about the symbol on the back of the dollar bill is Lucifer, the devil, or Horus, the Egyptian god of the sun, and all kinds of stories out there about the symbol on the back of the dollar bill. Well, I was talking about on radio and television and speaking at circuits and expos as far back as the 1964, 65, 66 about the symbol on the dollar bill and what the words mean. It's above the top of the pyramid. You will see the Latin words annuit coeptus, and beneath the pyramid you will see the banner, which incidentally has a forked tongue It's a forked tongue on the banner. And it says Novus Ordo Seclorum. Novus is novus, meaning novice or new.
Right.
Novus means new. Ordo is order, the new order. Seclorum is where we get our word secular. Secular means anything that's worldly. So Novus Ordo Seclorum is the new order of the world, the new world order. Well, what are you talking about, New World Order? Well, it's based on the pyramid with the all seeing eye, the New World Order. And the annuit coemptus at the top is Latin for our enterprise is now a success, or God has favored our enterprise with success. So what the symbol is saying is that this is a pyramid represents a new world order, but the idea is already a success. God